focus, relaxation, a little bit of mental clarity. I think most of us could use a little bit more of that. And my first experience with any kind of breathing techniques, meditation techniques, came at an unlikely place. It was Marine Corps Bootcamp, learning how to shoot a rifle. Before they ever let you fire a round or a bullet out of the rifle, you have to practice your breathing techniques for hours per day for an entire week. They just have you either lay down, sit, or kneel. You alternate positions, but the big thing is focusing in on your breath. And the reason they do that is because the smallest little shakes, the smallest little movements can make the difference between a tight group where you would shoot and a very large group, and you want a tight group. So they need you to be as calm and as relaxed as possible. I want to share with you some of these breathing techniques and the similarities to other breathing and meditation techniques that I've explored along the way, because I was always trying to reproduce that feeling. So mindfulness-based stress reduction techniques, breathing techniques called Buteyko breathing. There are some similarities, and in this video, I'm going to go over what those similarities are for creating a little bit more of this focus, confidence, relaxation, and mental clarity. Okay, the first thing that you would want to do before you try to control your breathing, and that's a mistake. You don't want to start off with, how am I supposed to breathe? How many seconds? 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out, these kinds of things. That's going to be different for everybody. We all have different lung capacities, and sometimes if you overthink it, that just causes a little bit more tension. So before you try to alter or change your breathing, what you want to do is just take note. How am I feeling? It's called a body scan, and really you're just tuning in with, where do I have tension? Are my ears up into my shoulders because I've got tension in my upper trap, my shoulder area here? My jaw clenched a little bit. Maybe I'm not squeezing and biting down, but are my teeth touching each other? The natural resting position for the jaw should be lips closed, but the teeth should be slightly apart and the tongue should be resting in the roof of the mouth. Are you squeezing? Are you trying to engage your core too much? So just take note anywhere that you have tension, take note of that. All right, now the second thing you're going to do is, after you've taken note where that tension is, you've tuned in just a little bit to your body, a little bit more body awareness, try to relax that tension. I still wouldn't try to alter or change your breathing pattern too much right now. You've taken note of how you're feeling, where you might have tension, and as you breathe out, it's an easier thing to do when you breathe out. Just relax. If those shoulders were up here, let them relax. If you were, oh gosh, yeah, I was biting down just a little bit. Again, lips together but teeth apart. Relax that in there. All right, now that you have taken note of where the tension is and you have made a little bit of a conscious effort to relax that tension, let's move on to the breathing. Pay attention to your breathing and take note if it's an aggressive breathing pattern. We don't want that. We are looking for calm, clarity, and relaxation. So you need to relax that breath just a little bit. Now you do want to pay attention to your breathing. Most of us have these scattered minds. Can we relax that? And one great way to relax that is to focus on something else. The breath is used as an anchor. You breathe in and you breathe out. You follow the entirety of the breath in and the breath out. And by the way, this is not a guided meditation right now. I'm giving you tools. There are lots of resources for guided meditations. I just want to give you the tools that I've learned. So you follow that breath in and you follow that breath out. Because as you focus in on that breathing in and that breathing out, again, it is an anchor. It gives you something else to focus on, and it helps increase this mind-body awareness. And with a little bit of practice, it will help facilitate a little bit more focus and a little bit more relaxation. There are a lot of resources out there that will try to say you should take a certain amount of a breath in for a certain amount of seconds and let that breath out. For example, Breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 7 seconds. And for some people, that's okay. But we all have different abilities on what our diaphragm can do and our lung capacity. So there's not necessarily a specific number. And my rule of thumb, and what I have found to be very helpful, is breathe in just an extra second or 2 seconds longer than you probably normally would. Just get a little bit more oxygen in than normal. You don't necessarily have to count, but if you have found in your experience that that works oh so well for you, go ahead and do that. I don't want to discourage anybody, but sometimes if you're getting caught up on the counting, you're just trying to focus on too many things, I want you to really just feel that breath, feel the entirety of it, and just breathe in just a little bit more than you normally would. As you breathe out, relax a little bit more. You're more relaxed on the out breath, so you breathe out, relaxed, sink, and breathe out just another couple of seconds more than you normally would. You're following your breath like it's the tide of an ocean, gently in and gently out. Very aware. Again, I can't stress this enough. You're following the entirety of the breath in. You're following the entirety of the breath out. Very relaxed. Find that rhythm within yourself. This in and this out. You almost get carried away in the breath in and out. You just feel that breath. You're nice and relaxed. Breathing in just a little bit more and breathing out just a little bit more than you normally would. And the last component is what is called a breath hold. Let's go back to the sniper we were talking about, or on the rifle range. They will have you squeeze that trigger during the pause at the end of an out breath. It's when you're the most relaxed. It's when you're going to be just nice and settled in. There are breathing techniques called Buteyko breathing. They recommend to do the same thing for different reasons. They are not related to each other at all. They just have these similarities in their techniques where they ask the people that do these breathing techniques to relax, calm, and pause. I call it a hover because you're not intentionally trying to hold your breath, trying to break records. How long can I hold my breath? Sometimes they do that in Buteyko for other reasons, but a lot of times they just want you to do this little controlled pause to start. You're nice and relaxed. Don't feel like there's this big urge to have to take another breath in. And you practice that. How often should you practice this technique? As much as you want to. I recommend doing this for at least 5 minutes at a time, maybe once or twice per day. But if you have a minute break, a 2-minute break where you're feeling stressed, anxious, this is a wonderful technique for you to use. As always, if you have any questions on any of these breathing techniques that I've mentioned in this video or other videos, leave me a comment. I love to answer these questions. If you found this video to be valuable, give us the thumbs up. Encourage me to make more of these videos.